that something wasn't right with that home.
The dogs start to see things.
Carved in the wall, it said, "Leave my home."
I was telling my mom, there's a man in your room.
He was staring right at me.
I noticed a white mist come walking through the doorway.
Obviously, something does not want us here.
Vivi, Indiana. This is where Laura, a single mother, raised her 2 young daughters. Then she met and fell in love with a local man named Roger. And she and her girls moved in with him. It was a fresh start for all of them.
My name is Laura Satterfield. Roger and I met in December of '01. We clicked right away.
It was a new phase for me. It was different from what I was used to. I was used to being by myself.
He has no kids. So Danielle and I became his kids, and he was so excited about that.
I loved the house when we moved in. I was so used to having a tiny bedroom, a small house. And then we moved into this big house where you can walk around.
We were all very happy and very excited. But the very first time that I walked in that house, I knew that something wasn't right with that home. I got a very strong feeling. It was a sad feeling. I didn't really think nothing else of it. I just said, okay, and just let it go with that.
We've got 2 dogs at home, one named Creek and one named Princess.
And my cat, Baby, she's an orange tabby, and she's really kind of shy.
Princess, she started tearing things up. Anything she could get hold of, she would shred up. That was very out of character for Princess. Princess is a very laid-back dog.
Creek, she would be laying down like she was going to go to sleep. And she'd jump up with the hair on her back, bark, and take off running into the other room to hide. My mom would check the driveway, see if somebody had pulled in, see if someone was walking through the yard, something that would set those actions to the dog. We weren't able to come up with a logical reason for the dog being scared and taking off running when there was nothing there to scare her.
I was really worried about Creek. She was just really scared.
Roger's reaction was more or less, just must be a dog thing.
I just shrugged it off more or less as being nothing.
He just never really came up with a real answer, but didn't seem like he was too interested in finding out what was going on.
One evening, Roger and I were sitting and watching TV. Creek was on one couch and Princess was laying on the other couch. And all of a sudden, Creek pops his head up and he yelps. Princess growls, gets up, and she goes in the other room. Baby, she was just moving her head back and forth, and I'm like, baby, what are you looking at? And as I looked up, I seen this, like, cloud hovering on the wall.
The dogs start to see things, and Laura can point out shadows to me. But I've seen shadows and never really looked at it as meaning anything.
I'm like, do you see that? And he's like, yeah, but it's no big deal. I thought, okay. I wasn't sure what it was.
When it had first started, it wasn't very intense. It was just little instances here and there. You'd question it every now and again if something happened, but for the most part, you just kind of shrug it off and keep going.
Roger was at work and Danielle was at school. So it was just me and the dogs at home. Princess, she just got to whining. Like, Princess, what's wrong? The dogs were just barking and barking and barking. She just kept looking in this one spot. And I looked to where she was looking. And I saw this man standing there. I just was terrified. He looked like something from the Civil War times. Brass on his shoulders. He had the hat. He was very tall, and he was staring right at me. He has very dark eyes. Just looking at me straight. I will never forget that. I froze for a minute, and then I just turned and ran out of the room. I just was terrified. Me and Princess both went out on the front porch, and we stayed out there until Roger got home. I just kept thinking, did I really see that? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe none of that happened. And then I kept saying, no, I'm not. He was really there. I guess I really knew I seen it. I just was trying to make excuses that I didn't want to see it. I didn't tell Roger anything. I just told him I was sitting on the porch waiting on him to get home. I didn't know how to tell Roger that I had just seen a ghost in the house. I got up, I did my routine every day. But it was difficult to try to live a normal life. Because if you say your house is haunted, people just look at you like you're crazy. They just don't want to believe that there is ghosts out, you know. It's just crazy.